Hello everyone, I am Dr. Vikram Joshi, Faculty Member, Department of Management Technology, Shri Ramdev Baba College of Engineering and Management, Nagpur. Welcome to the lecture on stepwise regression analysis using R. Now in stepwise regression analysis, again we are going to use the data which we used in our previous lecture, that is multiple regression analysis. So here you can see BSE Sensex, exchange rate, net FII, CPI, IIP and MS, that is money supply, index of industrial production. Then for inflation we are using consumer price index as the proxy variable, net FII, that is foreign institutional investments, exchange rate. So these factors are influencing the BSE Sensex, that is what is our assumption. So we will proceed with this assumption. So we'll open this data sheet in R. So import the data, data set 1, okay. Then economic data, 5 to 15 series we will use for analysis. Now first we will fit a multiple regression model for this data. So this data is uploaded. Now we will first perform the multiple regression analysis. So fit model, linear regression. So here response variable is BSE Sensex and these rest of the variables will select and then click on OK. So this is the output we have obtained for multiple regression analysis. Now here this is the descriptive statistics, minimum, maximum, first quartile, third quartile, median, etc. Now here we can see that in this regression output, wherein we have incorporated 5 variables, we see that intercept is significant, CPI is significant, exchange rate is significant, IIP is not significant, then MS, that is money supply, is significant, and net FII is also significant. Then here multiple R squared is 85, so this is very good. We can say F statistics is 142.8 and P value is very low, so goodness of fit criteria is fulfilled. R square is also good. Now as far as this regression model is used, basically we use the regression model for forecasting purposes. So whenever we are forecasting the dependent variable on the basis of independent variable, we expect that all the variables which are there in the model must be significant. Now here we see that intercept value is 68,489, then CPI value is minus 216.23, exchange rate is minus 533, etc. So these are the coefficients, and so this is the coefficient, this is the intercept, and these are the coefficients for various attributes or the variables. Now how we interpret these coefficients? So if CPI increases by 1 unit, then BSE Sensex will fall by minus 216.23472. So this is how we interpret all the other variables. So when inflation is high, Sensex will fall. When exchange rate increases, that is there is a devaluation in the currency, depreciation in the currency, then again your BSE Sensex is likely to fall. That means the signs are also going with the relationship. When index of industrial production reduces, obviously it will spread pessimism in the market, and that will lead to fall the BSE Sensex. Then if money supply increases in the market, Sensex is likely to rise, and if money supply falls in the market, then Sensex is likely to fall. So money supply normally influences the CPI in the market, and that is why we can expect that CPI and money supply may have high degree of correlation between each other. So this is how we can make the inferences on the basis of these coefficients. Now the question is whether this model is accepted or not. So as we discussed in the previous discussion, that we must perform certain diagnostic test. Even though we see that the goodness of fit criteria is fulfilled, R square is also good, but still there are certain issues that may persist, that may exist in the market, in the model, and we need to test it. So first go for numerical diagnostics. Here we have seen that variance inflation factor is very high in some cases, so it should be less than 10. If it is more than 10, then that is not good for our model, and that is why the model which we have fitted may not be appropriate, because there might be a strong degree of association, or we can say correlation between two or more independent variables. So when there is a strong correlation between two or more independent variables, they may have their own relationship with each other, bivariate, linear or multivariate. So we need to eliminate that particular problem of multicollinearity from the model first. If the problem of multicollinearity is existing in the model, then that multiple regression model may not be suitable for forecasting purposes, because that may give misleading results, and that is why we need to correct such type of model. Now one simple step that we can perform for eliminating the less significant variables or non-significant variables is that here we can see that p-value associated with these various estimates, if we check, this value is observed to be the highest value amongst the other. So this value corresponding to IIP is 0.29774. So we can eliminate this variable first when we are performing the stepwise regression. So we'll go into statistics, fit model, linear regression. Now in this we will select CPI, then exchange rate, money supply and net FII, and we are eliminating this IIP, whose probability is very high and due to which the variable is not significant. So now we will go with only 4 variables for fitting the regression model. So this is regression model 2. Okay. Now if we see this model, here we can see that now all the variables are significant. Previously your R square was 0.853, and now your R square is 0.8517. That means there is the value of R square is not changing significantly, and the variable is eliminated, and here we can see that all the variables are now significant. Now if we perform again the diagnostic test for this by variance inflation factor, now here we see that again the same problem is existing. So money supply and CPI, for this the variance inflation factor is very high. That means still the problem of multicollinearity is existing in the model. So what we can do is to eliminate this problem. Again, this value, the probability value is 0.08, which is significant at 10% level of significance. Normally we follow 5% level of significance or 1% level of significance, and that is why under trial and error we can now eliminate this particular variable, and we can check further for testing whether the problem of multicollinearity is resolved or not. So again click on the statistics, fit linear regression. Now CPI, we will select CPI, second is exchange rate, and now we are eliminating two variables, one is IIP and second is net FII. So we will go with only the three variables, that is CPI, exchange rate and money supply. Then OK. Now this is your regression model 3. Now here you can see that all variables are highly significant: CPI, exchange rate and money supply. So you can go with this model, and where all the variables including intercept variable is significant, and your multiple R squared is also around 85. So again it is reducing by very small extent. So for this, again model diagnostic, so numerical diagnostic. Now if we see this, again the money supply and CPI, between these high value existing, but since here we see that all others are so all the coefficients are significant. Now it is up to the discretion of the researcher whether he should go with such type of results or not. So he can perform even the residual test for this particular purpose. So model, and then here add observation statistics to data, then fitted values. So we'll keep only residual, and then click OK. So you will get now go to the graphs, plot histogram for residual obtained for this model. So we will get the histogram corresponding to this. So if we assume hypothetical bell-shaped curve, so we can say that this seems to be normally distributed, and hence we can go with this model as well. So this is how we can perform the multiple regression analysis. What we expect, that whenever we are fitting a model, these variables must be significant. Now since we observed here that again there is a high degree of correlation existing between CPI and money supply, we can even eliminate, we can try and we can eliminate these variables. So if I take this value and this value, again on the basis of these comparisons, this value seems to be higher, so I can even try once for this. So I can eliminate CPI, and I will keep now only two variables, exchange rate and second is money supply, and then click OK. Now again all the values are significant, rest of the things are also fulfilled. Your R square is also not reducing by much extent. Now model, numerical diagnostic, variance inflation factor. Now you can see here the variance inflation factor is now under control. So for exchange rate and for money supply, in both the cases your variance inflation factor is 5 point something. So we can conclude on the basis of this that this particular model which we have fitted for multiple regression analysis through stepwise regression may be the most appropriate model. Now even we can perform one model comparison. So this is your model number 4 and previous was model number 3. So if we compare these two models, model number 3 and model number 4, okay. So when we are going with the model, next model, so here we can see that p value is again significant, so we can go with model number 2. So this is how we can make the comparison, but ultimately you have to take the decision with regard to these multiple regression models on the basis of such criteria where multicollinearity issue will not be there in the model. So if multicollinearity exists, that is going to mislead the researcher in terms of whatever forecasts he makes. Now this is one approach, this is one procedure through which you can perform the stepwise regression analysis. Now there is another approach, there is another method. Here directly stepwise model selection also you can do. So if I click on this stepwise, then direction I go for forward to backward, then the criteria. So normally archaic information criteria is taken. You can go with Bayesian information criteria also, but archaic information criteria is considered as most popular. So if I click on this and select OK, now here you can see certain results which are obtained. Now in stepwise, initially only intercept value is considered, and when only intercept value is considered, the archaic information criteria value comes to be 2226.18. This must be as low as possible. So at the beginning we are getting this value as 2226. Then in step number 2, we can see here we have taken only money supply. Now here the most significant factor is taken first, and that is calculated by this software automatically by default. So here it has taken money supply as the factor, and when BAC and money supply are taken, this AIC, archaic information criteria, has reduced. Previously it was 2226, now it has reduced to 2032. Then in the next step BAC and exchange rate is taken. Now when BAC with exchange rate and money supply is taken, this relationship here, archaic information criteria, is now 2001. So this is less than this. Now again, so here the archaic information criteria is the lowest, and for rest of the other things it comes to be very high, and that is why here through this stepwise regression, the coefficients which are calculated by eliminating the problem of multicollinearity as well, we can see that money supply and exchange rate, these are the only two variables which are shown to be significant variables. So before performing multiple regression analysis, it is always better to perform the stepwise regression first, then identify these variables, and then once you identify these two variables, you can directly go into your multiple regression analysis and fit the model, linear regression, and then select here only two, so money supply and this, and then you get the output. Now one more advantage of this is that stepwise regression analysis is that which factor is most significant, so that sequence is also identified by stepwise regression. So here as far as BSE Sensex is concerned, we can say that money supply is the most significant factor amongst the others which impacts or which influences the BSE Sensex in the market. Ultimately this is the money supply. So if money supply increases in the market, then money will flow into the market. If money flows into the market, so if we go with the theory, if more money is there in the market, there will be more demand, and if there is more demand, because consumption will be high, if more money supply is there in the market, it will lead to more consumption on the part of consumers. So there will be more demand in the market, and when demand increases in the market, it will create the optimism in the market, and hence that optimism will lead to increase the value of Sensex in the market. So money supply plays significant role in impacting the BSE Sensex that we can interpret on the basis of this particular data. If amount of money or if money supply falls in the market, then obviously there will be less consumption, less demand, pessimism will be there in the market, and Sensex will be down. So this is the most significant factor. So logically, conceptually, or theoretically also we think, then this goes with the theory. Second important factor, so inflation is also influenced by money supply. If more money supply is there, more consumption, more demand, so prices will also rise, and that is the reason Sensex will increase in market. Second is exchange rate. Now if exchange rate is favorable, if there is appreciation in the value of exchange rate, then obviously that means your rupee value in terms of dollar is going to fall, that is appreciation. And if your rupee appreciates in value, definitely it will create strong impact on the market. There will be optimism in the market, and that will obviously help the Sensex to rise further. So there is always an inverse relationship between BSE Sensex and exchange rate. So this is what is the theory, and this theory is also seems to be proved with the help of this particular data. So we can interpret on the basis of this that money supply is the most significant factor. The next significant factor is the exchange rate. So this is the important, or we can say this is the advantage of performing the stepwise regression. So performing only multiple regression is not enough for any particular researcher. Whenever you are performing any particular researches wherein you are trying to establish the relationship between the dependent and independent variables, and independent variables are available in more numbers, then in such cases you need to test accordingly so that the problem of multicollinearity will be eliminated. Many a times it happens that you fit a regression model, number of variable they seem to be significant, but even though they seem to be significant, all the goodness of fit criteria are fulfilled, but multicollinearity problem still exists in that particular model. And that is why stepwise regression is considered as the most appropriate technique as far as fitting any particular regression model is concerned. So this is all about how we can fit a regression model by applying the stepwise regression method or stepwise regression analysis. So here again you have various other criteria as well for making the diagnostics. Like there are various other methods, like we see here Bruce-Pagan test for heteroscedasticity. So if you are aware about this, many literatures are available on these various things. You can refer the relevant material for this, and depending upon your own requirement you can even perform these various tests. Like heteroscedasticity means unequal variances. So it is assumed that there should be the variances must be same, that is homoscedasticity should be there. Then Durbin-Watson test is also there for autocorrelation. Then so if you know these tests, if you know the application of these various diagnostic tests, and if you are interested in applying and performing these tests, then you can definitely go with these various numerical diagnostic tests as well. So this will help you to select and to formulate the most appropriate model for forecasting purposes, which will always give you the correct results, and that will not mislead any particular researcher in terms of making the forecasts. So this is all about the stepwise regression analysis. So hope I cleared all your doubts and difficulties with regard to stepwise regression analysis. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Bye.